So we are on daybreak. Starting in the bottom left, our blue Protoss currently with 3 wins. He is.
Infinity 7 iSAxslav.
For game number 4, he is going to be going against our red Zerg. Here in the top right, we have
StrobeLight.
so another PVZ, this time on a much different map. As iSAxslav was saying before, he thought it favored Zerg a little more. But, I mean, we're still going to see Forge Fast expand, obviously. And, I want to know when somebody beyond Protoss is going to win a game tonight.
That's a good question. That's a very good question. I don't know.
We're at 19 games in a row of Protoss here.
I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure Protoss has like the lowest win ratio.
Well,
Still.
they're proving that wrong.
Tonight, yeah.
100%. That's Protoss. It takes a Protoss to beat a Protoss. They're the new Terran. So Strobe right now is getting his spawning pool up. Looks like a 14 pool. And is sending a drone out. Might take his third out here in the middle? No. I guess that is just a scout. For whatever reason, I feel like the middle doesn't have the rocks there, but I don't know, I typically see everybody take the low path regardless. iSAxslav is going to come into the main. Already built a pylon there at the second. And there is no third base. So it's going to be a later expansion regardless here. Zerg. iSAxslav, meanwhile. Evolution chamber block. So brave.
I found where the hat tree went.
Oh, iSAxslav isn't going to have too quick of an expansion here. Evo chamber, pretty good block. And I will fix the scoreboard. There you go, guys. The Evo chamber finishes, bleeds out slightly, and the cannon will be in range. And Lings are going to be able to get the expansion here for Strobe. Now, Strobe actually got a decent number of Lings out. I mean, the last couple games with Zerg, we've seen 6 Lings instead of the typical 4. Which I always question. Usually you go for 4 and then go pure drones past that. Save a little bit of money for your queens, if nothing else.
Nice snipe on the Overlord. Delaying attacking the Evo chamber, making sure to kill the Overlord, does supply block our Zerg. And the Zerglings, are they going to run by? Nice block. Is it enough?
They're going to get the cannon. They're
Is it enough?
Oh, they target. Oh, they target the probe.
That was weak.
They could have maybe gotten the cannon. The Zealot comes out, but I don't know. That was close. If they would have actually attacked with the Broodlings like they were supposed to in the first place, I think he definitely could have gotten it then.
Oh yeah, definitely. Cannon is worth more than 1 probe. You have to rebuild it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it means you can. Well, I don't know. I don't know if you can all in. If you had extra Zerglings, then you could. I don't know. Honestly, if you just build a lot of Lings and make that almost an all-in, it could work in a lot of cases.
Big plays.
Yep. Giving you all them ideas. Now we're going to see all kinds of new cheese.
No. Zerg is now behind 25 harvesters to 22.
And iSAxslav double expands.
iSAxslav taking a 6-minute expansion.
iSAxslav is a Zerg. iSAxslav best Zerg player. And 24 to 26 harvesters. iSAxslav still ahead in harvesters too. Now tied up. But it's going to stay close here. And iSAxslav is probably going to be the first one to pressure here too. 2 Zealots, bottom side of the map, going to the watchtower right now, and only 6 Lings to fight him back. These Zealots should be able to win that fight.
I just want to point out he went for a 2nd expansion before his Cyber Core.
Of course, who wouldn't?
So before having any hope of getting any sentries out, he got a 2nd Nexus. Well, I guess a third deck.
That is really banking on the standard Zerg greedy mindset.
Yeah, so the question is, what is he going to do after this? I'm guessing that it's going to be one of those like versus Terran builds that we see, like a massive 8-gate. Maybe even more, since you can get away with a lot more Zealots versus Zerg.
He had 17 last game.
Well, he's on 5-6 bases. This is just 3.
Okay, so 9 or 10.
It could be up to 12, depending on what his composition is going to be.
He's got to get those bases saturated too, and the Lings are actually going to scout.
Oh, the Lings are going to
base.
scout it.
It's too late though.
It's like, wait a minute. There's not supposed to be a base here.
Them jukes. Didn't really do too much.
Like Jagger. iSAxslav throwing a bunch of gateways down over at the top side, wanting to help wall off that third base.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Strobe feels about this, because I think maybe the proper response is to take a quick fourth. He's got that drone pretty much just sitting over there waiting for it. He's got plenty of money too. There we go. But it's still going to be a lot of pressure coming up here for iSAxslav. He's going to be up to 4. Doesn't have anything in his main yet, so he's just up to 4 right now. 5.
I don't know. I'd be really, really tempted to try to break this. Because what this is sacrificing is tech. And so I think if you just stayed on 3 bases, like a good economic 3 bases, and just threw stuff at this, it would die. I mean, there's no Immortals out. There's no Colossi out. There's no Storm. All it is Force Field, Zealots, and Stalkers. And I think if you get any major upgrade, like drop or burrow move or whatever, then you might be able to just straight up run straight through the middle, I think.
Just pure Roach Ling, you think?
I think so. It'd be pretty hard to hold. I mean, taking a 4th base, you're sacrificing your own, like your infestor timings and stuff, and he's gonna hit a gateway timing that is it's gonna be very, very similar to a 7-gate versus a fast 3 base, I think. It's essentially the same compositions, but the Protoss is going to have the advantage of, having that giant ball of units, whereas you're still going to have the ball of units, but you're not going to benefit as much from it. Like, you don't have any AoE, and, Guardian Shield and stuff will all stack. We only need 1 for every single one. So we're going to have to see. Right now, supplies are just so even right now. 103 to 99, and this is not what you expect from a PvZ.
Yeah, both players with so many harvesters too, 77 to 75. And I mean, Strobe's getting to the point where he can actually just start to hammer out as many units as he wants. But how do you feel about the Spire coming up? I mean, going into Muta off this?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it very much. I guess he's hoping to spread the Protoss out, since he is on 3 bases and Daybreak's a pretty decently wide map. But because Protoss is going to be defending with pretty much pure gateway units, I mean, he's already working on Blink. Like, there's not much else he can do going for such an economic opening. You don't have time to go into Colossi now. You have to go into what you've already invested into. And the only thing you can invest into early is obviously gateways and your upgrades from the Forge. So he's going to have very well upgraded Blink Stalkers. I mean, they're already 1-1. So I just don't see how these metas are going to be effective.
Plenty of sentries for Guardian Shields means the muta's probably not going to do any damage to the army, that's for sure. And plenty of force fields to hold back the Lings, too. As far as upgrades, 0-0 on the Lings. Trying to get +1 carapace and +1 flyer attacks at the same time. 17 mutas are out on the field. But they are potentially going to push into some very bad spots. More cannons coming up here in the top left base. So many cannons coming up right now. 4 cannons already up. We are going to see maybe a single warp gate go down off this.
Pylon.
Okay, only a single pylon.
Our Zerg might be trying to go for that absolutely mass muta style and kind of hope that Storm is late or he can delay it enough, but
Templar Archives is on the way.
Templar Archives on the way, and there's already a Stargate down even. And so I think iSAxslav is just going to feel perfectly fine sitting here on 3 bases, just getting maxed out and heading to that ideal composition versus Mutaling.
Here we go. Muta's jumping the third base again, pick off the pylon. This time they want that warp gate. They get it.
Oh, the Ling run by iSAxslav being really sloppy here, but there's plenty of stalkers to greet him, I guess.
There are cannons and stalkers everywhere. I mean, anywhere he runs, there's stuff. And the Lings are trying to pick off the Nexus, but they're not going to get it. And they don't even get most of the health there. And the Muta's trying to fly in again, a couple going down. Supply is still dead even.
Hive and 18 more roaches, as well as missile attacks level 2 on the way, but iSAxslav almost finishing up here with Storm, adding on a ton of cannons. Does not want to be in that base race situation. Wants the Storms, wants the Archons out before he pushes out. Right now, again, 184 supply to 173. Our Zerg player only 10 supply ahead here on Mutaling, no less.
He's down on Harvesters too. iSAxslav at 83 on these 3 bases.
Oh, that is just... That is delicious. That's a great spot to be as a Protoss.
Well, it is,
right
but he's also oversaturated, and there's no way he's going to be able to take a 4th.
No.
He's playing defensive. He has not been able to move out from his base. He's got everything choked off right now. And there are, right now, 6 cannons up this top left base. 5 remaining. Muta's trying to push in there. Muta's right now in the main, flying in, seeing what they can do. So far, not much. High Templars warping in, but no Storm quite yet. Couple of good force fields keeping those roaches trapped at that third, so the supply going way down for Strobe here. 144 versus 176. Muta's going down one by one in the main as they fly through stalkers, cannons, a little bit of everything. Now
yeah, look at this big
30
push
supply
coming
up.
He's got a lot of stalkers, a lot of sentries here. Greater Spire and 9 Infestors on the way, but this is a very, very tender timing. Every single time that you're going for that Greater Spire tech, that's a lot of money to invest. And looking at what he has to defend, it's still just pure Muta and a little bit of Lings, and I guess a couple of roaches, but iSAxslav gonna back up here. He is maxed out, getting his 5th base.
iSAxslav grabbing his 4th in the middle.
No, 4th base. Sorry, Zerg is on 5th base.
Yep.
Fleet Beacon on the way. Not sure if he's gonna go for Mothership or actually gonna try to
Going to carry.
throw out upgraded Phoenixes if the Zerg continues with Muta. We have seen that sometimes.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Upgraded Phoenix is pretty rare still. We'll see.
Nice force fields going down, but nice bundles as well. Where are the storms?
Oh, there's the storms.
Late storms, but still doing a ton of damage here. Blinkstalker's moving forward, catching a lot of defenseless infestors. The Roach is just not enough. The Mutas cannot handle direct engagements like this. And that 5th base is in peril.
Stalkers continue to move up. I think the 5th base is gone. He's going to have to sack this one and try to defend elsewhere. So Strobe right now just sitting back, trying to get whatever reinforcements he can. There he goes. Base falls, attacking with the Broodlings. Ling's coming in as well. No Storms. Archon on the right side, not in position to actually attack the Mutas. And Roach is pushing forward. Is Strobe actually going to be able to hold here? 144 supply versus the 163 of iSAxslav. Archon still doing massive damage on the front line. 2-3 upgrades for iSAxslav. Even a couple of reinforcements coming in from the back top. Do get picked off, and it looks like iSAxslav will have to back off. Strobe now ahead, 176 to 140 supply after all of that.
But look at this 4th base of iSAxslav. So many cannons. There are 12 cannons here. And I just want to point out, he actually really impressed me using hallucinated zealots there to soak up a lot of the damage from the roaches, allowing those stalkers to get some more shots off, picking off a couple of those infestors. So right now, again, he's only down about 15 supply, which is a great spot to be in as a Protoss. Although I would like to see maybe some additional tech units. Right now he's pretty much pure Stalker and Storm, which is a little bit unusual versus such a high roach count.
2-1-3 in the upgrades for iSAxslav. It is 2-2 for the roaches. 0-1, I believe, for the air units. They're all morphing right now, I can't see.
Ooh. Baneling Nest, Hydra Den, and 7 Broodlords coming up, as well as Carapace level 3, Melee Attacks level 2, and Flyer Attacks level 2 for our Zerg. But Dark Shrine, Mothership, armor level 2 or armor level 3 and shields level 2 coming up for our Protoss. So we might be seeing Baneling bombs as well as Broodlords versus some DTs, Archons, and that nice Archon toilet.
The Hydra Den is especially curious. I mean, you almost never see Hydras as a late game composition. Just because it's basically ineffective versus everything that they can make in the late game. But if you can keep the Hydras out of range, I suppose the DPS by itself might make up for it. We do have the cans going down here. Pretty much all of this wasted money at this point. The Broodlord's a little too much for iSAxslav to actually push into. Stuck at 175 supply, but now Mothership has arrived. Archon's morphing in, trying to get as many as he can. But he does sack that 4th base. There's another base up here in the top left with more cannons coming up.
Yep, both 6 o'clock and top left are pretty much...
He's getting so many cannons, though. He does not have any money to spend at this point. He's going to be running out of this 3rd base very soon, I'd imagine. So if we basically become into a war of minerals with both players starting to mine out, I've got to think it's going to favor Strobe a little bit. In terms of
Strobe is still on 5 bases, whereas iSAxslav is actually trying to get 6... well, up to 6 if he secures that middle. He's taking that center base before the Zerg is taking that center base. So they're going to be relatively equal, but it's going to come down to who can win this next engagement, and that Mothership is gathering energy very, very quickly. Now has enough for a Vortex.
there are plenty of storms available here, too. High Templar's 10 already up.
Look at this. The super max from our Zerg player, 213 supply. iSAxslav is now mining from that top left and 6 o'clock base, so he's sitting pretty here, mining a little bit more than our Zerg player, I think. And 78 harvesters to 71, but that is such a strong arm lead from Strobe here. 2-3 upgrades with 3-3 about to finish. The Broodlords are 0-2 right now. And Robotics Bay just now finishing for iSAxslav. Too scared to go into Colossi before, just because of the mutant numbers, but...
Oh, Broodlords may push a little too far forward here. They could easily get Vortex right now. A single one pushes forward by himself. He's going to have some kind of
is he going to storm her
protection.
feedback? He's got a High Templar holding that Zelnaga Watchtower, definitely close enough to start throwing down some of those feedbacks. He really wants to get rid of that Infestor energy. Some Zealots attacking in the bottom right, though. With that Warp Prism, also has the availability of DTs.
A lot of Overseers coming in. Looks like about 6 joining the army.
And look at this, more upgrades coming up from Zerg. Adrenal glands, groove spines for the Hydras, flyer attacks level 3, and melee attacks level 3 on the way, as he's now secured the offensive watchtower here. And does iSAxslav have enough? Nice fungals revealing off everything. Storms going down all over the place. The entire street full of Psystorm, and there goes the Vortex, catching a lot of the Broodlords. Infested Terrans walling off so that the Archons cannot get into the Vortex. Storming the Infested Terrans, though. Is it going to be in time? He needs to get those Archons in.
He couldn't
but
get it in.
No, all the Zerg units get out. More storms going down, though. Supplies still incredibly close, but iSAxslav falling very quickly. 134 supply to 189.
And Strobe, I think,
still stands.
Strobe is pushing forward now. 112 supply versus 173. Strobe floating 3K, 1K. iSAxslav floating 2K, 2K. And iSAxslav just having a little bit of trouble resupplying here. Mothership is being rebuilt. +3 shields about to finish. More High Templars being warped in.
Instant remax from our Zerg player, even dropping all the changelings, helping to lock down that army in place, making sure that nothing got into the Vortex, surviving, or keeping all of his Broodlords surviving here. 5 of them pushing here at the natural against the gateways and a couple cannons here. A lot of the roaches burrowed so that they heal up quite quickly. Overseers all over the place. Infestors gaining energy again. Another Mothership is on the way. iSAxslav resupplying with a decent amount of High Templar, but not enough energy for Storm just yet. But the question is, how is he going to combat these Broodlords? All those Stalkers going down in the previous engagement, and just does not have a lot. Catching a couple of Broodlords out in the middle over here by the 4th base. 5th base still up and mining here for iSAxslav, but...
And the Hydra resupply right now is... This is actually really smart. The Hydra resupply, considering how low iSAxslav is, he's simply not going to be able to push through this army, I imagine. The Storms might be able to be effective, but...
iSAxslav with the Warp Prisms. DTs and Zealots in the main, taking care of Spires and the other production facilities. Queen's going down as well. we are going to see an almost base race situation here, perhaps. As Zerg going into third base, it is mined out. Not much there. The Forge obviously uses as every upgrade is attained here from iSAxslav.
They're going Infested Terran trying to block those Stalkers back. And this third base, is it going to be sniped before the Mothership comes out? Mothership does arrive. Cloaks the Nexus,
Corruptor's
but
already
Overseers are here. Finally goes
Stalkers
down.
trying to defend the Mothership. Storms going down all over the place. Maybe hoping to get rid of the Overseers as well. Maybe warping a couple DTs. Both players still have plenty of money to fight left. But it's all come down to production right here. Greater Spire being under attack here from Zealots and DTs. Baneliness going down. Hive going down. The bottom right base has fallen to Zealots. Zerg right now on 4 or 5 hatcheries total. 3 of them in the main, or sorry, 2 of them in the main. But here come the Broodlords. That top left base was the most recent, most mining base, I think.
A lot of DTs
That
here with the
Arctic
army.
Gordon.
There go the
Oh,
Storms.
so many Storms on the Hydras!
Oh, the Hydra's almost all dead at this point, just from those Storms. One more Storm will probably finish off the rest of that army. Mothership goes down.
Falls. 2 Archons being morphed from those High Templars that did all the Storms, but just so much left here. 179 supply to 79, so 100 supply up for our Zerg player. And iSAxslav trying to throw down additional gateways. Zerg player floating 3k, 1.6k versus the less than 1,000 minerals that iSAxslav has left with about 2k gas. Some Void Rays being added on, but still just not enough. The Hydra's allowing him to do anti-air, doing so much damage versus the instant resupply units, which are the gateway units, the Stalkers, the High Templar, and just doing so much. Archons falling in the middle here. I think iSAxslav might be out of hope here.
Strobe looks unstoppable at this point. Top left base goes down. Infested Terran finishing that off. And there are just so many units sitting outside this last mining base for iSAxslav.
58 supply to 199. A maxed out Zerg versus about 4 Storms.
Very nice Storms on top of those Hydras. Again, a lot of the Hydras starting to go down, but
Look at this.
the army's
Entire
staying up there.
Changeling army versus of Zealots here.
170 supply versus 80 now. So good amount of damage done, but more Roaches reinforcing. And so many Zealots on Strobe's side. Just running around at this point. And this base, the last mining base, is finally going to fall.
The Changelings expiring, being killed off. iSAxslav's like, I don't have any money for Zealots. These can't be mine. All he's got here is 11 High Templar. And where is that Warp Prism? He still has it alive, although all the harassment has stopped.
Yep, eventually dealt with. The Warp Prism is currently patrolling the top side of the map. So doing nothing. And
Looks like
iSAxslav, he's going to do the last stand here with Void Rays, Colossus, a couple Archons, and a lot of High Templars. He doesn't have enough energy for the Vortex.
Just storms on everything, a Vortex, and then turn everything into Archons and kill everything. Infested Terran hogging the ramp, preventing Protoss from actually going down and defending some of these Nexus. Not that it's going to be at all important. Corruptors taking down that Colossi. Storming the bottom of that ramp just continually. Oh my goodness. He's actually hitting all those storms.
The supplies going way down here for Strobe now. 135 dropping from his 200. 35 left for iSAxslav here.
6 energy
The
away
Archons
from
are
the Vortex.
morphing in.
6 energy away from a Vortex. And there it is, the GG. He tried.
I don't know, that was an exciting game too, worthy of a game of the night. That was a hell of a play from Strobe, off of what I would imagine was an extremely strong opening from iSAxslav.
6-minute third there. iSAxslav saying he didn't want to take my money.